Okay, let's talk about something that, on the surface, sounds, well, kind of boring: building plan approvals. But what if I told you that this exact process, this seemingly bureaucratic headache, could actually be a city's secret weapon for economic growth? Well, that's exactly what we're seeing in Cape Town. So you see this quote, and you might think, yeah, okay, that's a nice slogan for a poster. But for the city of Cape Town, this is way more than just words. It's a real, measurable mission. And believe it or not, one of the main things powering this mission is the very thing we're talking about today: how they handle building plan approvals. All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the big economic goal. Then we'll dive into how they're literally racing the clock. We'll talk big numbers, billions, in fact. We'll see how all the different departments work together. And finally, we'll connect all the dots and see why this whole thing is such a big deal. Okay, first up, this ambitious goal. The city has one major priority: economic growth. And they figured out that one of the most powerful tools they have isn't some fancy tech hub or startup fund. Nope. It's the nuts and bolts of their own bureaucracy, specifically how fast and efficiently they can greenlight building plans. Think of it like this: it's all about creating this amazing domino effect, right? A quick, reliable approval process makes developers want to invest here. That investment means construction gets started, and boom, that's jobs. Then those new buildings become homes for businesses, which means, you guessed it, even more jobs. It's a straight line from a stamped piece of paper to someone's paycheck. Okay, so it's one thing to say we're going to be fast, but how do you actually make that happen? You can't just hope for it. You need to measure it. You need a target. You basically need a stopwatch, and that's exactly what Cape Town has. They've built a whole system around it, turning this big ambition into a day-in, day-out race. And this is it. This is the official scorecard. It sounds a bit technical: circular 88 output scorecard. But what it really is the city's way of keeping itself honest. It's the system they use to make sure they're hitting their speed targets and keeping that economic engine firing on all cylinders. Now, this is what I find really fascinating. Check this out. Whether you're just adding a small room to your house or you're building a giant skyscraper, the target is the same: 12 days. That tells you a lot, right? It shows they see every single project, no matter how big or small, as a crucial piece of the puzzle. 12 days. Just think about that for a second. That's the target, from the moment they have a complete application in hand to the moment they give you that first answer. This isn't just some number on a spreadsheet. It's the heartbeat of the whole operation. It's what makes the big vision a real everyday thing. And of course, like any race, there are rules. The clock doesn't start until the city has all the info they need, and it stops the second they send back that initial decision. What's super important here is what's not on the clock: things like appeals or waiting for an applicant to make changes. This is all about measuring the city's efficiency, not blaming delays on anyone else. So, being fast is great, but what happens when you combine that speed with a massive amount of work? That's when you really start to see the economic fireworks. And let me tell you, the scale of what's flowing through this system, it's just incredible. The numbers are going to blow your mind. Take a look at this: nearly 22,000. That's how many building plans went through the system in the year they looked at. 22,000. That's not just a number. That's thousands of dreams, businesses, and homes. Everything from a new garage to a massive new skyscraper. That's the sheer volume we're talking about here. And get this, out of those almost 22,000 plans, more than 5,600 of them got the green light on the very first try. That's huge. It proves the system isn't just fast. For a huge chunk of people, it's also incredibly smooth. It just works. And now for the money shot. Our $1.67 billion. That's with a B. And that's just the value of the commercial projects that got built. That is a massive amount of cash being poured directly into the local economy, and it's all flowing through this one super efficient pipeline. Okay, so we've established they're fast. But that probably makes you wonder, right? Are they cutting corners? Is it just a rubber stamp factory? Absolutely not. Speed is one thing, but safety and doing things by the book is everything. So how do you go fast without sacrificing quality? Well, it all comes down to teamwork. This multi-department review isn't a roadblock, it's a safety net. It's how they make sure every single project meets every single code before a permit is ever issued. This is what builds trust in the whole system. You know that when something gets built, it's been done right. And here's the crew that makes it happen. You've got the planning folks, making sure it all fits into the bigger picture. You've got the building experts, checking that it's structurally sound. Engineering handles all the pipes and wires and infrastructure. And of course, the fire department is there to make sure it's safe. It's like a well-oiled machine, with all these different experts working in sync. All right, let's bring it all home. We've talked about the big goal, the race against the clock, the mind-boggling numbers, and the safety checks. But so what? Why is this one little process something that the top city leaders are watching so closely? The reason is simple. It's not just paperwork. It's a powerful strategic tool. And this really says it all. That 12-day target? It's not hidden away in some dusty report in a basement office. No way. It's a top-layer performance indicator. That's business speak for this is a really big deal. The people at the very top are watching this number like a hawk because they know it's directly tied to the city's economic health. So let's just recap why this matters so much. 1, it directly creates jobs. 2, it pulls in investment because businesses love predictability. 3, it's good, clean governance that even the auditors are happy with. And 4, it keeps the entire construction and development world in the city humming along. Simple as that. And that leaves us with this final thought. Keep Town decided to measure its ambition in days, 12 days to be exact. By putting a hard number on it, they turned a fuzzy idea into something real and accountable. And it makes you think, doesn't it? If a city can dial in its speed with that much precision, what's the real limit to what it can achieve?